Alright, back with another album review. And today's review is on Saturday Night Wrist from Deftones. Now, before I go any further, I need to mention that the title is a reference to nerve damage that takes place whenever an intoxicated person falls asleep on their arm. Anyways, this is the 5th studio album from Deftones, and the first one to not have any involvement from longtime collaborator Terry Date. Instead, this album was self-produced with the help of Bob Ezrin and Sean Lopez. Sean would later work with Crosses. More on that in a future episode. And this album was recorded between November of 2004 and April of 2006 at 5 different studios: Carriage House in Stamford, The Spot in Sacramento, The Hangar in Sacramento, The Airport in Burbank, and Morning House View in Malibu. This album was mainly centered around alternative metal, with some elements of experimental rock, space rock, and shoegazing. Now, Bob Ezrin was working with Deftones during the initial recording sessions. Deftones actually took a break during the recording of this album in 2005. And during that break, Chino Marino would go on tour with a side project, Team Sleep, which I talked about last time. I read that Chino said that the break was good since it's good for him since he couldn't focus during the initial recording sessions due to his addictions to alcohol and amphetamines, as well as his marriage falling apart. Deftones got back together in early 2006 in order to finish this album. During that time, the original vocal recordings were scrapped and later re-recorded with the help of Sean Lopez. As I stated, the recording was finished in April 2006, and the album was mixed by Ryan Williams. The album was released on Halloween of 2006 under Maverick Records, though this would be the last Deftones album ever to be released under Maverick. This would also be the final Deftones album that Chi Chang completed before his accident in 2008. More on that in the next episode. Now to talk about the songs. This album starts with Hole in the Earth, which is the first single from this album. The single was released on September 12th, 2006. It was later sent to radio stations on October 13th of that same year. The song is rather slow-paced, and it pretty much fits the overall tone of the album. It also captures the communication issues that the band were experiencing at the time they were making this album. There's a music video that was made for this song, which was directed by Brian Lazaro, and I'll post a link to it in the description. The song has made its way into various video games such as Guitar Hero 3 and Rock Band 1 through 3. It's also featured in the film This Is the End from 2013. I think this is a pretty good song overall, and we're only getting started. Up next is Rapture, which has a more aggressive sound to it. The song also illustrates the confusion that Chino experienced when this album was being made. The next song is Beware, which is meant to be a warning about drugs, sex, and alcohol. These are 3 things that Chino encountered during the making of this album. This is also the longest song on this album at 6 minutes and 3 seconds long. Stephen Carpenter plays the keyboard on the song despite being the band's lead guitarist. And it's followed up by Cherry Waves, which contains elements of shoegaze. The song is about someone testing the trust that they have in another person. The next song is Mine, which was released as a single on March 13th, 2007. The song is where the elements of space rock are implemented. What's really special about the song is that it features Serj Tankian, who is best known for being the lead singer of System of a Down. Personally, I think it's fucking awesome that he ended up working with Deftones on this song. In fact, he actually ended up helping to write the lyrics. Serj even said on Reddit that he has been good friends with Chino, and that they've been touring for years. There was a music video that was filmed during the week of January 20th, 2007. It was directed by Bernard Gorley, and the video was leaked onto YouTube on March 2nd, 2007. Now, I'm going to post a link to the video in the description. I actually think it's one of the most awesome music videos that Deftones ever made. Overall, this is my favorite song on this album. The fact that they feature Serge Tankian on the song is definitely a match made in heaven. And it's followed up by UUDDLRLRAB select start. The song is fully instrumental, and the title is meant to be a reference to the famous Konami code. Also, Stephen Carpenter played the drums on the song. Up next is Xerxes, which contains elements of shoegaze. It also has Stephen on the bass guitar. The next song is Rats, Rats, Rats. We follow that up with Pink Cell Phone, which features Annie Hardy. Not only that, but she helped write the lyrics to the song. The song clocks in at 5 minutes and 4 seconds long. However, the clean version of this album has the song cut down to 3 minutes and 54 seconds in length, which makes me glad that I got the version with the parental advisory warning on the cover. Combat is after that. The next song is Kim Dracula, which has a very atmospheric tone to it. Red Chino said that this is a reference to a part of his email address at the start of recording when he was drinking a lot of alcohol and doing amphetamines. This is also my second favorite song on this album. This album ends with Riviere. This song is about a witch and was rewritten during Chino's drug phase. I need to mention that the iTunes version of this album features a cover of the song Drive by the Cars. Obviously, that song is not on this version of the album, as you can see. Now, from what I read, is that this album was met with high praise from critics, and rightfully so. In fact, it has a 72 on Metacritic. As for my opinion on it, I think this is a pretty solid album overall. I know it's not Deftones' best album by any means, but this is far from being a bad album since there are no weak songs on it. I have seen people on Facebook say that this is Deftones' most underrated album, and I agree considering the fact that it peaked at number 10 on the Billboard 200. I definitely recommend this album. Now's the part where I question you. Have you listened to this album? If so, what do you think of it? What's your favorite song from it? Do you think it should have done better commercially than it did? And let me know in the comments. If you like the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to hit the notification bell to be notified of future uploads. Thanks for watching, I'll be back soon with another review.